Hi there! Thanks for joining me today. Today I am making a very cute, turtley awesome ring holder, and I will be using a small turtle mold and this crystal cluster mold. I'm starting off with Let's Resin's 1:1 crystal clear epoxy, and I added a little bit of aquamarine colored resin dye to it. Of course I overpour it and then I have to scoop it out, and by the time all is said and done, it doesn't actually have enough. So I have to add an extra layer. If that isn't me and how I do things, I don't know what is. Here I am, popping bubbles. Once that has had a chance to cure, I do actually add a final layer on top just to even it out. And I'm using leftover resin from another pour, and this just has some pearl white mica powder in it. Unfortunately, I cannot find the footage of me pouring the very first layer of this mold, and I'm so sorry, but it is the Let's Resin crystal clear epoxy again, to which I added some blue resin dye and also some Hypershift pigment that I used from another pour that was also leftover resin. And now I'm pouring even more leftover resin into this. And I will end up doing one more layer. I don't intend to fill it all the way up because it's a pretty thick mold, so I don't want to make it quite that thick. And this is my final layer. It does actually have some glow-in-the-dark powder in it. It doesn't glow in the dark though, and I didn't want to change the color or anything. I just wanted to make it a slight bit thicker than it was. You can see the layered effect of this turtle from the side once all is said and done, but the color difference between the layers isn't enough to really be noticeable unless you're looking for it. You may recognize that froggy in the upper right hand corner as the lava frog I made in honor of Karen from the Dragon's Cave. If you haven't watched that video, you should definitely watch that. That was a really fun one. I want to make another one of those. This turtle is turtley cured. See what I did there? I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm going to do that this entire time, so be warned. But it was time to demold, and I really like the way this looks. It is a matte mold, and I love the way the Hypershift looks in it. It's very cool. I want to color in the shell part, and I'm using Caterpillar and Parakeet from Apple Barrel. These are just matte acrylic paints, and I'm going to flood it and then wipe off the extra. The shell indentation is fairly deep, so when I wipe off the extra over it, it shouldn't take away all of the paint. I definitely put the extra paint back into the bottle to the extent that I can. I'm not willing to waste it. I don't know if it's hot where you are right now, but right now it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit and has been for the last couple of days. I know it's been incredibly hot in the UK, and all of my crafting friends, my heart just goes out to you. I know most of you don't have air conditioning, and it is brutal to be in that kind of heat for as long as you have been with no AC. I wish you all the best, and I hope you find good ways to cool off, especially at night. It's just the pits trying to sleep in that kind of heat. I could have made life easier for myself by spraying a little bit of soapy water down into this mold before demolding, but I decided to just struggle on for your amusement. You're welcome. After about a week, it finally came out. I like the way it looks, and by spraying alcohol in it first and sort of squidging it around when I put the resin in it, I really avoided a lot of bubbles. Highly recommend that technique. That looks much better with 2 coats of paint on it, and now I'm going to put some UV resin over the paint. If I didn't do that, eventually the paint would flake off because it's just acrylic craft paint, so it's not designed to take any wear or tear. I don't need to be super careful as far as staying in the lines, so to speak, on this one, because that crystal cluster is actually getting resin right on top of the turtle shell. I'm careful around the edges because that is the part you will see, but in the middle, it doesn't really matter. I go ahead and I paint the entire bottom of the crystal cluster with the UV resin. I am able to flip this upside down after the initial cure to cure from underneath the turtle. It is fairly translucent, and while it did take a little longer than it normally would for something that was truly clear, the UV rays did eventually get through the turtle to the resin, and it did cure all the way. Hey look, my head hasn't made a cameo in a while, and you get my purple curls. Here it is all done and on the turntable. I super like the way this turned out. It's really cute. It's very fun. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room, but I feel like it has a lot of personality. And of course, I love any sort of art that is practical or usable, and this is definitely practical, usable art. I threw a couple of my rings on there just so you could see how it works. If you have bigger rings, you could use the 2 larger crystals sticking up as well, but mine didn't fit around those. If you have a crystal cluster mold, the possibilities for ring holders are truly endless. I would love to know what your ideas are and what you would make with it. If you make a ring holder, don't forget to put the little furniture bumpers on the bottom so it doesn't slide around. I hope you liked this ring holder. I think it's totally awesome, and I hope the rest of your weekend is totally awesome too. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, my kitschy cats and kittens, and I'll see you soon.